My screen is visible.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, fine. So in the last class, we had covered off uh, how to make the basic customizations of accounts receivable. Very specific steps it was there, and it was very similar with the accounts payable. Most of the steps are very similar with accounts payable. Uh, Finally, we also passed one invoice for the purpose of demonstration. So after passing the invoice also, we see the report, that is document itself, invoice document, as well as the ledger, as well as the line items. Okay, so now let us again check what are the open items, whatever we have passed yesterday. For that purpose, we will go to the accounting, financial accounting, accounts receivable. Then I will go to the see, this is document, and I will go to the account. Under the account, FBL5N. So this is the way, this is the transaction code through which I can display the open items. So first of all, here I have to make sure that my company code, I am going through my company code, and in my company code I want to find out the subsidiary ledger. Okay, so subsidiary ledger means individual customer ledger. So individual customer wise, I want to find out what is the open items, what are the clear items. So here also I will change the company code. So Global Trading Limited is my customer. So in my customer, the customer number is 16, actually 16, and by default the radio button is in open item, and I want to see the, I want to just put on the execute. Okay, so once it is showing on execute, now this is shown as, this is an open item document. The status is red, which is open. Document type is DR. DR means customer invoice. Then this is the document date. This is the amount in local currency. This is the document number, and this is the due date symbol. So this is actually overdue, right? Why this is showing as overdue? Because yesterday I have passed the document and there was no credit period for this particular document. So as there was no credit period allowed, immediately the customer has to pay. So yesterday it was showing as due, but today after one day it is showing as overdue. Let us see one thing. It is showing here open item at key date. Okay, by default the key date is today's date. Suppose I am just changing the key date, that is yesterday's date, that is 10th January 2023. Okay, so what will happen? So that transaction is passed yesterday. So when I look the open item putting the yesterday's date, then the symbol is just the due. It is a bell icon. Bell icon means it is just due but not overdue, right? So when it will show as overdue, this is the report. I want to see the report as on 10th January 2023. So as on 10 January 2023, it is showing as just due, not overdue. But if I change the date, actually whenever we see the open item key date is always by default the today's date. So automatically all the invoices which are open, they automatically come up. But we can also change the date to get the report on different date, what are the status. So if I see here on today's date, now the due is showing as overdue. Actually the thing which was due yesterday, it was showing as overdue, right? So this is the way the things happens. Now after passing the invoice, then let us clear that invoice. Okay, so clearing happens in two ways, we know. One is payment with clearing and another is adjustment clearing. Okay, so let us demonstrate the payment with clearing. So for payment with clearing, I can go to the transaction code F-28, that is incoming payment. In case of accounts payable, I used to follow the outgoing payment because the company code was paying to the vendor. Here we are getting the payment, we are getting the money from the customers. So this is post incoming payments, right? So post incoming payments, the document type is by default DZ. I have discussed that three numbers of document number range I have created yesterday. One is your DR. DR means customer invoice. DZ means customer payment. And there is another document type which is called DA. DA is for credit memo or adjustments or anything else, rest of the things. So as we are receiving the payment from the customer, so by default in this transaction code, the document type is showing as DZ. For DZ, we have already created the document number range. For this document, I have already created the number range. Now, let us receive the payment from the customer and clear that customer balances. So now this is the bank data. So whenever I am receiving payment from the customer, let us select this bank account. Okay, 2 lakhs. Say I am receiving the full money from the customer, though clearing can be in part. But let us demonstrate the full clearing process. So I'm putting the text as say received payment from customer. Then I am coming to the account. So in case of accounts payable, you must notice that account type was K for vendor and D for customer. Just click on the drop down. What are the different types of account appearing? A for asset, D for customer, K for vendor, M for material, S for GL account, right? So till now we are very much familiar with S, K, and now it is D. And in the last part of your accounts, your financials, whenever we will cover the asset accounting, we will cover the asset. And regarding the AM is concerned, we will cover it during the course of integration of MM module with FI module. And after that also we will cover the P2P process. Okay. So there also account type AM we will cover up. So now it is customer. Now I have to find out which is the customer that is paying to the company. So this is customer number 16, 16. Then click on process open item, right? So you know there are 3 tabs here. One is standard, second one is partial, third one is residual. So what is the difference between partial and residual? That has already been demonstrated with the example. Actually, part payment can be any of these 2 methods, either partial or residual. So that is only whether any company code is following the partial payment method or residual payment method, the outcome is same, but there is a presentation difference. So what is the presentation difference? That has been already demonstrated through the example in accounts payable as well as GL accounting also. So now the by default button is standard. Standard means this is for the full clearing process. Here the amount is 1,25,000 and the amount assigned is 1,25,000, not assigned is 0. Then I am coming to the document and simulate. Okay. So once I come to the document and simulate, it is showing as bank account debited to Global Trading Limited. In case of accounts receivable, the posting key 01 stands for customer debit and posting key 15 stands for customer credit. Okay, there are two numbers of additional posting keys are used in this accounts receivable. 01 is debit and 15 is for credit. Then click on save, right? So after clicking on save, let us again see the open items FBL5N. So FBL5N, by default the customer number is coming, and the radio button is by default on the open item. If we click on the open item, it will show us no items selected, and if we click on the clear item and click on continue, then we see that this is the document, this is the invoice, and this is the payment document, right? So this payment document number is 10,001. As per the usual practice, this payment document number is otherwisely called clearing document, and this clearing document number is automatically shown before both the documents. So whenever we can export this particular report to Excel sheet and also filter clearing document wise, then automatically what happens, we can see which payment documents takes care of how many invoices. It may happen that here there is a 1-to-1 correlation. 1-to-1 correlation means there is one document which is the invoice and there is one payment document which is the payment. But it may happen that you may be having several invoice documents and there is only one payment document which clears all the invoices. In these cases, the management or your organization is always interested to know which payment documents are, that means bill by bill adjustment. So for which invoices a single payment document has been passed. So in this case, it must be the organization wants to know against which bill the single payments happens, consolidated payment happens, against which invoices, again which invoice numbers or which document numbers. So in this case, in this column, that is clearing document column, is very important. In this clearing document column, you will find out only one clearing document. It will be populated against all the invoices. So if we filter and find out this, then we can easily correlate which documents are tagged with which clearing document. Even if 100 documents will be there or 1000 documents will be there, then there will not be any presentation difference. It can be very well presented in every case. So this is your full clearing scenario. Then we can go for passing of another invoice and we can demonstrate the partial clearing scenario. So in this screen, always be sure that your company code is activated. So by default, another company code is proposing here. I have to click on the company code button, put my company code name 7200, and I select my customer, I select my invoices. So I am selecting the invoices also today's date. Suppose this is 75,000. Sales invoice posting. Here is my sales account. Amount is star. Text is plus. Then enter. Once I put enter, automatically it is the balance is showing as 0 and it is showing in green. That means the debit is already equal to the credit, and I have to just click on the simulate. Once I click on the simulate, here the global trading limited is debited, the posting key is 01 and sales account is credited. This is the actually the entry view, okay, because I am in the simulation mode. Simulation mode is the last chance to see how the document looks like, okay, how I propose the document for the final posting. So anything, if I want to change, I can come back and change. Later on I can save. If I'll save the document, wrong document, then there are very few options left with me to change later on. because very few parameters can be changed later on, but the most important parameter like GL account, amount, this cannot be changed. So let us click on post. So I have posted the document. Once I post the document, let us try to change some of the parameters of that document. So for changing the document, I can go to the document, then I can go to change. So by default, the last document number is coming. I click on enter. So once I click on enter, the document is showing as it is. That is the document entry view. So there are two line items. So click on the first line item. Once I click on the first line item, I see it is showing the additional data. So additional data is not the main data. The main data is amount 75,000 and customer. What is the name of that customer? So those are very important things. So amount cannot be changed, but discount base can be changed. So what is the discount base? That means the percentage of discount will be calculated on which amount, whether it is on the invoice amount or less than some invoice amount. By default, always it propose that discount percentage will be always calculated on the gross invoice amount. Okay, so very few things which can be changeable, these are showing in white. Others which cannot be changeable, those are showing in gray. Those are already gray out and this cannot be changed. So in this screen, I can change the payment term, baseline date, payment block, discount amount. Most probably I can also change the sales invoice posting, and I can change it like Bing sales invoice posting and click on save. So this is the change in the debit line item. If I come now, click here, then I see this thing has already been saved after changing. So I have created one document for the purpose of this change, sake of change. I again change only one line item. Similarly also for the second line item I can make the change. See, there is also a chance if you display a document in FB03. Actually I was going through the FB03. FB03 is a very old transaction code. We use it from the GL accounting. So FB03 always shows you the document, last document comes by default. So if I click here, this is the display document. Suppose I want to see the first line item. See, everything here is in gray because I am in the display mode. I am not in the change mode. But suppose I want to make up my mind to change here. Just a minute. Okay. Suppose I want to make some changes here in display mode. So what happens? I can also change and save it. There is a icon here, change display or oblique change mode. So I can click here. Once I click here, then what happens? These things will be shown in the parameters which are changeable, that can be converted into, that fields can be converted into white patches, and I can very well change and save the document. Okay, so this is the way through which I can change the document. Now suppose I want to display the changes. What change I did, I want to see it. So in this document number 9002, what are the changes I have done, I want to see here. Then I put the document number here and click on enter. So once I click on enter, then it is showing the fields. So I click on all changes. So once I click on all changes, then it is showing me which fields are changed. That means this is the thing which is changed, that is this is the document date, and the change happens also on the same date. Okay. And second one is the which field. The field is text or narration. And what is the new narration? This is the column for new narration. The new narration is Bing sales invoice posting. What is the old narration? The old narration is only sales invoice posting, right? So in this case, whatever changes happen to a document, that is also recorded document number wise. So later on also it can be audited, it can be verified. So the important thing is, even if very specific thing are changeable, the main parameters like your GL account number, like amount, those things cannot be changed at all. Only the additional fields can be changed. However, the SAP is capable of recording all such fields. What are the things before change and what are the things after change, as well as the date of change. So everything is recorded in the SAP memory. So uh, it creates confidence for the internal control system, as well as the things is capable of recording all the activities seamlessly. I have also discussed regarding the park document, parking and posting in case of GL accounting. The same thing can be done in accounts receivable also, accounts payable also. There is not much of a big thing. Somebody will park and somebody will approve. But as it is a demonstration software, the person who creates a document, that person can post a document. So parking and posting can be in the same person, by the same person here. But practically when SAP is implemented, due to the implementation, due to the creation of internal control mechanism, the person who park a document cannot post it. Okay, somebody, some other can post it. So your maker checker, that is called your maker checker mechanism. Maker is the person who cannot post the document. Another person or another user ID, through the another user ID, that document can be checked and finally it will be posted. Unless and until a document is parked, it do not affect the account balances, ledger balances. Once it is posted, that only affect the ledger balances or account balances. And the document which is in a parking mode, that can be also deleted, that can be modified, that can be edited, that can be also deleted. Okay, so those things which are discussed in accounts GL accounting, same thing applicable here, and the procedure is same, there is nothing new. Then I have already passed a document. Let us go for the clearing of this particular invoice. For clearing of the invoice, let us go to the document entry, go to the incoming payment. I am putting the date, then I am putting the bank account. Suppose I am putting here 35,000, and I am putting here receipt payment, and this is my customer number 16. Click on the process open item, right? By default, the tab is here in standard, but I want to make the partial payment. Actually, the invoice amount is 75,000 and the amount entered is 35,000. So it is a part payment. So I prefer the partial payment tab. Once I click on the partial payment tab, here the payment amount is proposing as 75, which is exactly equal to the invoice amount. But this is not actually 75, this is 35. I just have to double click here. Once I double click here, it will convert it into 35. Here the amount entered is 35, amount assigned is 35, not assigned is 0. So this is a perfect case of clearing, partial clearing. Then I go to the document, simulate, and I click on save. So once I click on save, let us create another session and see the open item managed accounts. So FBL5N is the transaction code to see the open item. So by default the radio button is in open item. Click on execute. Once I click on execute, I see that this is the invoice, that is document type DR. The amount is 75,000, and this is the document type DZ. The payment amount is 35,000 minus, and still 40,000 outstanding is showing here, and both the documents are in red. So in case of partial payment method, what will happen? See, clearing document is not, there is no clearing document showing here. Why there is no clearing document showing here? Because we are following the partial payment method. Partial payment method, what is the practice? What is the system architecture? The system architecture is, unless and until you will pay the balance, the all the things will be in red, nothing will be cleared. So even if we have paid 35,000 out of this 75,000, but both are showing in as open. So rest 40,000 is there. So whenever we will pay the rest 40,000, then we will see that everything will be cleared. So everything will be cleared means the 75,000 will be shown in green, 35,000 will shown in green, will be shown in, and 40,000 will be also shown in green. And the clearing document number will be shown on the extreme right side, and the last clearing document or the last payment document will be shown here as the clearing document. So tagging will be very easy. We can find out which are the invoice, what are the invoices, and what are the part payments, and what are the final payment due to which this particular invoices or this particular documents are cleared. So by exporting we can create filter, we can create a bundling. Bundling means there is only last clearing document number will be happened here, but just I have to find out what are the documents against which the last clearing document is showing. Then that will entirely tell the story. That means that will tell what is the invoice, what is the payment document, partial payment document, and what is the final payment document. Okay, so let us go for the final clearing. Now I have already opened up. So this is the document date. Put the bank account, then put the amount as 40,000, and this is the receipt payment from customer. This is the account, customer account. Click on process open item. Okay, so this is already by default there in standard. Amount entered is 40, amount assigned is 40. So how amount assigned is found out? Here 75,000 is debit and 35,000, that is one payment document, document type DZ, that is showing in credit. So what is the summation of 75 and 35 minus? That is the 40,000. So 40,000 I have already entered. So amount entered is 40, amount assigned is 40. So amount assigned and amount entered is same. So the balance becomes 0. It is a perfect case of clearing. I will go to the document simulate and I will click on save. Right? So once I click on save, let us go and see the open items. FBL5N. So once I go to the FBL5N and click on execute, it will show no items selected. Once I click on the cleared item and click on execute, then I can see the all the documents which are cleared, it is showing here. So this is the clearing document number 10,003. So what is 10,003? 10,003 is the last clearing document, that is 40,000. So this 10,003 is appearing against these three documents. So we can easily make an analysis and we will reach to a conclusion that the original invoice was 75,000 and first partial payment was 35,000 and the final payment on the invoice 40,000 happened through the document number 10,003, due to which the invoice is entirely cleared. Okay, so this is the way we should have the conclusion that these are the payments. But there is another payment method which is called residual clearing. That residual clearing is somehow different from the partial clearing. In the residual clearing, even if we make the part payment of against a invoice, but that original invoice will always be cleared and a new fresh open item will be created. So let us pass one document and see how this residual clearing system happens. So for passing a document, we will pass it through FB70. This is my customer, this is my invoice, suppose say 80,000, and this is the purchase in sales invoice posting, and this is the sales GL, this is the amount star, then text is plus, click on enter. So once I click on enter, the balance is 0. Then I will go to simulate, then I will go to post. So the value of the invoice is 80,000, right? So out of these 80,000, let us clear 50,000 first, but it will be through the residual clearing method, okay? Not partial clearing, it will be through the residual clearing method. So I will go to the document, incoming payment, and I will go to document date. This is the bank GL. Let us pay 50,000. Then this is receipt payment from customer. This is account type 16. Then process open item, right? So the by default, this is the standard tab. But we are following the residual payment method, though it is a part payment method, and most logical part payment method we have to follow is through the partial payment. However, suppose we prefer to use residual payment method, so in this case I will click on the residual item tab. Okay, in the residual item tab, it is showing as blank. Okay, amount entered is 50, amount assigned is 30. So these are not equal. So how this will be equal? I will just double click on the residual item. So it will show me 30,000. And once it will show me 30,000, then I will see that amount entered, amount assigned becomes equal, right? And the heading is residual item. Residual item means this 30,000 is now the residual amount. However, this residual amount will be created as a fresh open item. Okay, but original invoice 80,000 will be shown as cleared. So that is the system which is confusing to most of the cases. Let us simulate and save, and we'll see. Okay, it is showing exchange rate difference accounts are incomplete. There is a box, I think so. Sometimes it is appearing, sometimes it is not. Again let us try. 50,000, that is receipt payment from customer. So it is there in residual payment only. Okay. Okay, now click on save. Same thing appearing. And let us click on document simulate general ledger. Okay, process open item, again go to exchange rate difference are incomplete, it is showing. Just a minute, let's again try. I will try to solve it from there itself. Residual, this is residual, document simulate. Okay, just click here 2,80,000. So proceed, click here. So document split for currency exchange 2,08,000. Let us again try. $50, $16, process, residual, document, same thing is coming. Exchange rate difference account are incomplete for account 2,08,000. Okay, let us open 2,08,000 first. Let us see. FS00. So 2,08,000 is the current asset. So sundry debtors. Okay, so it is showing here in sundry debtors. Okay, so I do one thing. Only balances in local currency I am showing here. Okay, balances for reconciliation account only in local currency not defined. So I have not defined it before, that's why it is showing me. So what I can do, if I actually initially when I created, I could not make only balances in local currency. That's why it is showing like this. So if I could create it only balances in local currency, that could not be any problem. Actually, it is not a problem. I'm making in INR. Everything I am making in INR, but it is showing these things which is not desirable. But in order to avoid that, also it will be better if I do this like this. Okay, one thing I can do. I am creating another GL account. Okay, so let us create another GL account. I am just copying it. So 2,09,000 I am creating another GL account of sundry debtor. Okay. So I am putting it sundry debtors 1, sundry debtors account 1, and click on the control data tab. In the control data tab, I am putting only balances in local currency. Okay, so that is the thing, because that is already used, so it is not allowing me, but here it will allow. So now click on save. Balances for reconciliation account only in local currency not defined. Let us see. Balances for reconciliation accounts only in local currency not defined. FH061. Let us see. FH061. I am creating a master data again. So I am copying it from the existing customer master. 16 is the customer number. So this is let us have this 7200 customer, and country, that is mandatory. No, nothing is mandatory here. Click on the company code data. So let us click on the drop down. I am using this reconciliation ledger, and I click on save. Okay, so let us save this, and let us pass one invoice again, FB70. So here 21 is the customer number, new customer number. Let us have the same 80,000. This is sales invoice posting, sales, amount is star, then text is plus, then document, simulate and save. Okay, so 9004, let us have the document number, and we can go for the clearing process. Let us go for the clearing process. Okay, so this is the thing, this is the bank data. Let the amount is 50,000 for this new customer. So the new customer is customer number 21. Let us see this one. Then click on the process open item, residual, click on this residual, click on document simulate. Same thing, it is appearing. 2009 exchange rate difference account are incomplete for account 2009 INR. Let us go to already defined. Let us see. SAP is like that. If there is a problem, if there is one error, then very difficult to do it in a time bound manner. Okay, let's see now. Let's try the incoming payment. So 50,000 again I am trying. No, same thing is there, but this is not appearing in case of partial clearing. Strange thing. Partial clearing I have done. Let us click on, let us go for the partial clearing method. No, this is not appearing in partial clearing, this is appearing in residual clearing method only. So okay, fine, I will just go through why it is appearing in residual clearing. Only exchange rate difference it is asking in case of residual clearing, but not in partial clearing process. I'll just find out what is the reason. So residual clearing, as I have already discussed, this is the demonstration difference only. Here the original 80,000 will be cleared, and another 30,000, one open item will be stand off, which is only 30,000. So even if we pay only 50,000 out of the invoice value of 80,000, but original invoice value 80,000 will be shown as clear. So it sometimes it makes confusion that whether that particular 80,000 invoice is fully cleared or not. So most of the organizations, they follow this method of partial clearing. That's why they can easily find out that unless and until there is a 1 rupee also outstanding on the original invoice, then all the part payments in the due course as well as the invoice, they will be shown as open. Okay. So I will go through why that error is coming in case of residual clearing method. Then we will go to the next area, that is advance receipt from customer, that is down payment. In SAP terminology, any advances, whether we are giving any advance to the vendor or we are receiving any advance from the customer, those are called down payments in SAP. Okay. So how this down payment posting happens, and how sales invoice is passed after receiving the down payment from prospective customers, and how this down payment or advance payment is adjusted against the invoice, and if the down payment is exactly equal to the invoice, then no more money is has to be received, and only the advance will be adjusted against the invoice value. And if we have received the down payment less than the invoice value, then we are supposed to receive the balance between the down payment and invoice value. And if we receive the down payment is more and sales invoice value is less, then after adjustment also some of the down payments will be still left, and it will be adjusted against future sales invoices. Okay, so there can be three scenarios. So down payment, this advance payment or down payment, these are called special GL, special ledgers. Okay, special GLs these are called. So whenever we will make any down payment, we will create a general ledger, but that general ledger is in the nature of special GL, because that ledger will be connected with the reconciliation ledger. Okay, so what happens, that advance will be connected to ultimately to the sundry debtor, because final adjustment will be against the sundry debtor. So therefore, first of all, I have to create one GL account, that is advance receipt from customer. Advance receipt from customer is in the nature of liability, current liability. Okay, why? Because if we receive any advance from the customer and we fail to supply the material, then we have to return the money. So any kind of advance which is received from the customer, these are nothing but these are the liabilities. So current liabilities will be created against this. Actually, I am in the hierarchy display view. So hierarchy display view is a smart view for creation of the GL account, because everything is available here, left side and right side. In the last class I have already shown you how this hierarchy display view or navigation view, I can say, this navigation view can be activated from the traditional view of creation of GL. So now I am copying it from a current liability GL, that is rent payable, and I want to put the number as 100,304. Here is a gap. So what I will do, I will put the cursor on the rent payable and click on copy as, and I will put 100,204. This is the reference GL, that is the GL from whom I am copying, and this is the new GL, the number of the new GL for which I am going to give the name. So I click on continue, and I put here the description, advance from customer. Okay, so I can just shortcut here, advance from customer, and long text I can have advance from customer. Okay, Then I will click on the control data tab. The most important thing is I have to select it as one of the reconciliation account type, because this advance from customer will be finally demonstrated with addition to the sundry debtor. Then we can find out what is the net amount payable or receivable, right? So that's why whenever you create any down payment oriented GL, that is, I have also created it in accounts payable, always select the respective reconciliation account type. That is very, very important. Okay. Then I will click on create oblique bank oblique interest tab. This is the field status group G001. Let it be okay and click on save. Right. So I have created the GL account, that is advance from customer. And in the next step, I will make the linkage between sundry debtor and advance from customer through the special GL indicator. Actually, special GL indicator is the linking mechanism between the sundry debtor and advance to customer. That kind of thing also discussed in accounts payable, special GL indicator. So I will click on SAP reference IMG. Then I will go to the financial accounting new. Then I will go to the accounts receivable and accounts payable new. Sorry, accounts payable and receivable. I will go to the business transactions. Then this is a case of down payment received. Then this is a case of define alternative reconciliation account for down payment, right? So here this is the okay, just a minute. This is down payment made. Actually, I have to go to the down payment received, right? So alternatively, this down payment made, that means we pay the advance, but this is not the case in accounts receivable. We receive the advance, so instead of down payment made, we have to use down payment received. Then I will click on define reconciliation account for customer down payment. Okay, so here I have to choose the special GL indicator A, that is down payment. Here the account type is D. D means customer. So click on A, and in this small window always opt for your chart of account, that is 7200. Click on continue. Here I will have my reconciliation GL. Okay, so what is the reconciliation GL? The reconciliation GL is obviously the sundry debtor. Actually, I have created another sundry debtor, but I will use this first one for all purpose. I was just experimenting. So 2,08,000 is the reconciliation GL, that is sundry debtor, and this sundry debtor will be connected with the advance. Okay, and these are connected through the special GL indicator A, right? So special GL indicator A connect these two numbers of GL accounts. So now I will go to advance from customer. This is a GL in the nature of liability, because if we fail to supply, then we have to return back the advance. So click on save in your request. Okay, so now I have already I have already done the small customization of linking the reconciliation GL with the special GL through the special GL indicator A. So this special GL indicator is the mechanism, or this is the path or bridge between this two GL account. Why this two GL account is used? Why not other GL account? See, this is your advanced GL account, so it will be definitely used. Why this one? This one is nothing. This is sundry debtor. So advance is always paid to the debtors, sundry debtors. Advance is always received from the sundry debtors. So ultimately, whenever any meaningful report has to be prepared, these two things has to be clubbed. Clubbed means whenever we get advance, this is a nature of liability. Whenever we sell, that is a nature of current asset, that is sundry debtor. So ultimately these two things are always clubbed for the reporting purposes, or finally it is to be adjusted with the sundry debtor. Okay, so that's why in the SAP system also logically make the connection between two GL is a must. That means reconciliation GL is linked with the special GL. Fine. So I will go to and pass one end user entry of down payment. So I will go to accounting, accounts receivable, then I will go to the document entry, then I will go to the down payment. Now I will go to F-29. So now I am making a down payment. Today's date, say the customer is making the down payment and we are receiving. So let us choose our customer, which customer we are receiving. So this one, first one, 16. I have to use the special GL indicator A here. Then I have to use the bank account, bank GL in which I am receiving the money. Suppose I am receiving the money, say 60,000. Okay. Then I am putting here advance receipt. Okay. Then I click on enter. Then amount is star, text is plus, then document simulate. Okay. Once I click on the document simulate, it will be shown like this: bank account debited to Global Trading Limited. However, here it is shown as 19A. So our advance special GL is linked with the reconciliation GL. However, this is the entry view. If I want to see the GL view, I will see the GL account. One part is bank account, another part is advance from customer GL account. So this is the entry view. Let us save this entry. Once I save this entry, let us go to FB03. So this is the entry view. So from the entry view, I just know this is a special GL transaction. So definitely, though it is Global Trading Limited, however, as it is a special GL transaction, so definitely it is relating to the down payments. So to be confirmed, click on the general ledger view. Once I click on the general ledger view, then both the line items is shown as GL. One is bank, another is advance from customer. Fine. So one is bank account, another is advance from customer account. Now let us go to the open items. FBL 5N. So now I will choose the customer account 16. Right. So here it is shown as only normal items, but special GL transaction is not a normal item. Okay, so this is the open item which is there, but it is not showing the advance payment, advance receipt or down payment received, because it is not a normal item. So in order to see the advance receipt from the customer, I have to select the special GL transaction. Then I will click on execute. Once I click on the execute, it will show me that 60,000 is received. And here also it is on the extreme right side, it is showing A, indicator A. So that means without going through the narration also, we can very well know that this is a advance receipt kind of entry, right? But in order to see this, be sure that you have to select the special GL transaction. Unless and until you select the special GL transaction, you cannot see that entry, even if that will happen, right? So once I select this and click on execute, then I can see this is the special GL transaction which is appearing. So I am receiving 60,000 as down payment, right? And this is the invoice value of 80,000, right? So invoice value of 80,000 is appearing, and advance given by the customer amounts to 60,000. So what happens? I have to again receive 20,000 from this customer. And once I receive 20,000 from this customer, then automatically everything will be converted into green, right? So for that purpose, what I have to do, I cannot receive directly 20,000 and clear all this item. Let us try. Let us try this and I will show you. Suppose I am having the incoming payment 20,000. Okay. This is the bank account. Suppose I am receiving 20,000. Receipt from customer. This is customer number 16. Then process open item. See, here only 80,000 is showing. Okay. That advance is not showing here. Why? Why the advance 60,000 which is received from the customer, it is not showing here? If it could have been shown here, then ultimately the amount 80,000 minus 60,000, here the amount could have been assigned as 20,000. Why it is not showing here? Because that is a special GL transaction. In case of open item clearing, only normal transactions can be cleared. Special GL transactions cannot be cleared. So what happens? I have to first convert the special GL item into normal. Then only I can clear the transactions. So whenever we make any down payment, before final adjustment, it is mandatory we come to the transaction code F-39 for making the special GL into normal. Then only we can clear it, we can adjust it against the invoice. So go to the transaction code F-39. So this is today's date, this is customer account, click on process down payment. So it is showing the invoice reference here. Okay, I'm just removing the invoice reference. Different invoice reference is coming, just erasing it. Once I erase it, ultimately it is going to this screen. Available amount 60,000. What is the transfer posting? Transfer posting means in this process I will make the special GL into normal, because my down payment is less and the invoice value is more. Therefore I will do all the amount as adjusted. So that's why I make transfer posting 60,000 and click on save. Okay, once I click on save, I can see, if I see the open item managed account FBL5N, even if I don't select this special GL transaction, only normal items are there. However, that 60,000 is also appeared here. Okay, so why 60,000 is appeared here? And now this special GL indicator A, which was appearing here, it is no more. Why it is no more? Because this is no more a special GL transaction. It is converted into a normal transaction. Once it is converted into a normal transaction, then it can be easily cleared through the rest of the incoming payment. So what is the rest of the incoming payment? 20,000 is the rest of the incoming payment. So I am receiving 20,000 from the customer and clearing everything. So here see 60,000 is coming here. Why? Because this is no more a special GL transaction. Now the amount entered is 20,000, amount assigned is 20,000. So it is a perfect case of clearing, and I will go to the document simulate. Okay, then I will click on save. Once I click on save, I can come back and see the open item managed account FBL5M. Once I click on the FBL5N, the cursor, the radio button is already in open item, and click on continue. No open item is selected. If I click on the cleared item and click on execute, I can see everything is shown as cleared. This is 80,000, this is 20,000, this is 60,000, right? So the last one is 20,000 and the document number is 10,005. So this 3 10,005, it is just creating a block. This is just creating an impression that this 10,005 is the clearing document which clears this both. Both means 80,000 as well as 60,000 minus. Okay. The last clearing document 20,000, it clears everything. Okay. So any questions on your behalf? So many things are discussed. Any questions?
Nothing at the moment, sir.
Okay, fine. So this actually this chapter is very similar with accounts payable. If accounts payable is clear, then accounts receivable will not create any kind of problem, because this kinds of special GL transactions and making the special GL into normal and finally clearing all everything. So these are also discussed in accounts payable, and the funda is very same. The nature is very much same. So it will be much easier in accounts payable how this special GL transaction will be taken care of. Similarly, in accounts payable also there was a request. I have also discussed one request, preceding step of the down payment. In case of accounts payable, what happens? The vendor may request you to make certain payment in advance. So in this case also, what happens? There is a request which can be before the down payment. This is the request which we actually generate. We request the customer to pay in advance. So whenever we create the request to the customer to pay any advance and within a cutoff date, then the customer always try to make us the down payment. So actually in this two stages, I started the stage from F-29 and I make it normal through F-39. But what happens? There can be a preceding step, creation of request. So creation of request is another kind of document which is called the noted item. Actually, down payment is a special GL item, but request creation is a noted item. In the request creation, no double entry bookkeeping kind of entry is there. It is just a request. We are making a request to the customer, pay us something, otherwise we cannot make you the supply of goods. So before actual down payment is received, when actual down payment is received, that is a double entry kind of things. Bank account is debited and your advance from customer is credited. But if we give a letter to the customer to pay some advance, that is not a double entry bookkeeping, but it is also a memorandum kind of thing. It is a single entry or single sided entry, and this is also recorded in the books of account. This is recorded in SAP, and whenever any down payment happens, that is always with reference to the request. Suppose let us go to the FBL5N. So in the FBL5N, normally we always select normal items, but to see the special GL transactions, we have to select the special GL transactions. If we want to select the request, if we want to see the request, which requests are pending, which requests are pending means against that request no down payment is received. So in that case, we have to select again this checkbox, that is noted item. So how this request will be created, let us we have to do a small customization so that the request generation end user entry is possible. Without that customization it will not be possible. Let us do the customization, small customization, nothing else, very similar to linkage of special GL with normal GL. So go to the financial accounting new. Now accounts receivable and accounts payable. Then I will go to the business transactions. Then I will go to the down payment receipt. Then I will go to the same. Actually, these are very same. This is the here we use this one A, down payment special GL indicator A. But down payment request, that is also a special GL indicator, and this is F. Just double click on F. Here I will give the reconciliation ledger. What is the reconciliation ledger? Same, sundry debtors. So I will be having sundry debtors 2,08,000 actually, and here also I will make the down payment GL. So ultimate down payment GL, that is our liability, advance from customer. Okay, so advance from customer special GL is linked to the reconciliation GL through the special GL indicator F. Whether it is an actual down payment, whether it is a down payment request, it is ultimately submerged with the sundry debtor. Okay, so that's why in the SAP mechanism there must be, these two things must be linked through the special GL indicator F. Previously, for the actual down payment, the special GL indicator was A. Here the down payment request, the special GL indicator is F. Just click on save. Okay, that's it. That is the customization enough. So now let us come and go for the down payment request. So I am making the down payment request. So let us have the today's date and let us have the customer. Special GL indicator is by default coming. Click on enter. Suppose the down payment request is say 65,000 and there must be a date, tentative date. By this date the down payment must be received, otherwise we are not responsible for non-supply of the material, because we have to anyway have to receive the advance within a stipulated date. So here it is down payment request, then click on save. Okay, so this is not two-sided entry, this is a one-sided entry. Let us see it. 10,006 is the document number FB03. So this is 10,006. Click on enter. See this document. In this document, are you see two line items? No, you are looking only one line item. Okay, there is no GL view, because previously whenever any accounting document was passed in this accounts payable or receivable, which is based on the subsidiary ledger concept, there were two views. One is entry view, another is general ledger view. But here no general ledger view. Why? Because this is not a double entry bookkeeping, this is not a double entry transaction, this is not a journal, it is just a memorandum. Okay, so as it is a memorandum, there is no question of any debit and credit, so there is no question of general ledger view, because this doesn't affect any general ledger. It is just a noted item. Just mind it, remember it, this is called noted item. Okay, this item is for noting only. So now if I go to the FBL5N, if I select only the normal item, nothing will be shown. If I select the special GL transaction also, nothing will be shown, because everything is cleared. Nothing, no pending is there. If I select the noted item, in addition to this, then automatically the extra item is available. See this one. So this is the noted item. And how do you know that this is a noted item from this report? This extreme left, it is shown as F. F means it is a down payment request. A means a down payment received. Okay. So from that it is known that this is a down payment request. Now after this down payment request, this is the preceding steps, and the succeeding step is receive the down payment. The transaction code is F-29. So I put the date. This is the customer number, special GL indicator A, and this is the bank account. I am putting 65,000. Then I put down payment received, and I click on request because already there is a request. So I click on request. If you will be having n numbers of requests, one by one like a Excel sheet, it will be shown. But this is the request which is your target. So this request immediately it will be converted into down payment. So select that request, click on the down payment, right? Once I click on the down payment, automatically immediately these are converted into a true entry, down payment entry, and click on save. Okay, once I click on save, then it is already converted a down payment. And if I go to FBL 5N, and this is normal item, special GL noted, everything is selected. See that 65,000 is no more a noted item. Now it is converted into a special GL item. So once it is converted into a special GL item, what is the last scenario? The last ultimate thing is, before adjusting the advance payment against the invoice, we have to make the special GL into normal. How to do that? Just I have to select the customer, click on the process. This reference document I am just removing. Just click on the process down payment. Okay, so this is the available amount. Suppose I make everything as transfer posting. That means I want to make the entire thing as normal. Once I make it normal, then if I go to FBL 5N, what I see, everything is ticked now. If I click on execute, I see this 65,000, but this 65,000 is no more a special GL transaction, right? Now it can be easily adjusted against the invoices. Okay, so this is the way in which the things happens. So once this is adjusted, how to do it? Suppose this is the down payment. Let us pass one invoice. This is the invoice. Suppose the value of the invoice is 65,000. Same to same. Sales invoice posting 3 lakhs. This is star. This is text. Then document simulate. Click on post. Fine. So after posting, let us again see the open items. FBL 5N, and I click on execute. So now this is showing here. Let us okay. I think I have posted wrong customer. Let us see. FB03. Okay, I have used a wrong customer actually. Let us pass it with the correct. Actually, I have created two numbers of customer. Let us pass another one. Actually, this is 16. 16 is the customer which I originally created. So that is the thing against which I was supposed to pass the invoice. So star text is plus, then document, then save, then come to the open items, FBL 5M, and okay, okay, now this is showing here. So document, DR and DA, both things are there. So here both the line items are shown as red. So when both the line items are shown as red, then I have to make only the adjustment and clear each other. Adjustment between these two documents, 9006 and 11002. Only adjustment clearing is required. So I don't have to make any further payment. I am not expecting any further payment. Only I have to make the adjustment with clearing. And now my down payment is also converted into normal. So I will go to account clear. So this is 16. This is process open item. So here it is showing 65,000 and 65,000 minus, both the things are showing here. I don't have to pay anything. This is the two documents. Then click on document simulate and click on save. So this is such a document. Actually this is not a document having any line items, but this is a document which just make the clearance of both the things. Let us see FB03 8006. Is there any line item appearing? No, there is no line item here. So this is such a kind of clearing document which is not having any line items. Actually these are certification questions. Clearing document can be such a clearing document which is, this is the clearing document, but there is no line items. Why there is no line items? Because this is the document which make clearance between that debit and credit. Debit is exactly equal to credit, just a document number is created which makes them green. That's why this is such a clearing document which is not having a line item. Okay. So I'm just closing the session. I will send the video. Good night to all of you and do the practice.